Sarah Dawson, physical therapist with Body One Physical Therapy. We're kicking off week 1 of our injury prevention program for runners. I want to first say a sincere thank you to Dr. Dan Waskowitz, who led us through our 10-week posture program. So if you've been following along with that, we're going to do a similar approach for our injury prevention program as well. So over the course of the next 8 weeks, I'll be showing you self-screens for home, ways to identify if you have some movement dysfunction. And then I'll also be showing you some corrective exercises based off of those screening tools to help you move better and prevent injuries with your training program for running. So before I start off with some of the exercises, I just want to kind of lay out a couple of rules for all of our videos coming forward. So if you have pain or discomfort with any of the exercises that I'm going to be showing within the next few weeks, we definitely want you to give us a call. We can set you up with a free injury screen, or we can get you set up with an initial evaluation with any of our therapists at our 3 locations. All right, so for week 1, we're going to be using the self-assessment tool of the lateral step-down test. So for this test, you need about a 6-inch step. You're gonna stand with one leg at the edge of your box or your step, whatever you're using. And then what you're gonna do is put your hands on your hips. You're gonna bend at your knees, keeping your torso upright, and then try to touch your heel down to the ground. So important things that you wanna make sure for form with this exercise is making sure that your knee stays in line with about your 2nd or your 3rd toe. So as you bend forward, what you don't wanna see is that knee really diving in like that. That will put you at increased risk for knee pain. So definitely that's something that you want to watch. The other thing that is really important is to make sure that you're not letting this hip drop down. So whenever you're reaching the foot down towards the ground, you don't want to see this type of movement. So there's good research out there that shows us that if you have movement dysfunction with this lateral step down test, that you're actually at increased risk for knee pain if you're a runner. So what we want to do is try to figure out why you can't do that test specifically. So in the next coming weeks, what we'll be doing is addressing some of the reasons why you wouldn't be able to do this test. So things like not enough ankle mobility, not enough hip strength can cause you to have some movement dysfunction. But sometimes you can have movement dysfunction just for the fact of not knowing what proper form is. So that's what today is about, is trying to bring awareness to proper form. So we'll talk about some corrective exercises if you had trouble with the lateral step down test. So today the corrective exercises are more just trying to retrain your brain proper form with any type of single leg task. So the first one that we're going to be doing is a single leg squat. So it's basically a little bit of an easier method than the lateral step down test. But basically what you're going to do is something similar. So hands on your hips, you're going to bring one leg up and just bend at your knee. And again, trying to keep your knee in line with your 2nd and 3rd toe and try not to let your hip drop at all. So sometimes retraining this motion and making sure that you're doing it in the mirror as well can help you to better perform that lateral step down test. So try 3 sets of 15 or so every day and see if that can help. If you still can't do proper form, so your knee's still diving in or your hips kind of dropping with that one, I'll show you a variation of that one or a modification to help work your way up to that. All right, so the modification, if you can't do the single leg squat, is actually called a kickstand squat. So it's gonna help you retrain the brain to be able to do this with proper form, but in a little bit easier way on your body. So if you kickstand this opposite leg, you can still work on that same single leg squat form. So hands on your hips, bringing the knee forward and trying to track that knee over your 2nd and 3rd toe. So this would be one of the easier modifications. You can start here and then work your way up to the single leg squat and then the lateral step down test if you aren't able to do those tests with good form. All right, thank you for joining us for week 1 of our injury prevention program for runners. I hope you learned something and have something to work on over the next week. Next week, we'll be talking about how ankle mobility plays a part in your running pattern and ways to correct if you don't have proper ankle mobility. Thanks for joining and have a great week.